Let's talk about Israel Folau. Alan mentioned this before, and rightly so, that Israel Folau, of course, a person of colour, you would think it's up to him to decide whether he's going to take a knee or not when it comes to Black Lives Matter. He, of course, decided not to take a knee when it comes to Black Lives Matter. And at the Super League competition, the Rugby League competition in the UK, I was watching this very late last night, early this morning. Well, they were all in. There was a 5-minute video in the pre-production. There was all sorts of players telling stories of woe, and that's fine. They're all able to do so. There's even Black Lives Matter logos on all of the grounds and all the rest of it. But you would think that a person of colour would be allowed to not take a knee if they chose to, but apparently it is a problem that he did not take a knee. Jenna Clark, does this surprise you that those who, of course, are the white warriors on Twitter are telling a man of colour about whether he should or shouldn't take a knee in cultural observance of Black Lives Matter, which of course has nothing to do with George Floyd and everything to do with a Trojan horse for some pretty crazy politics?
Yeah, and it absolutely has nothing to do with Israel Folau, who probably just wants to get on with his life and enjoy his career overseas. Look, I think if we're surprised that he hasn't taken part in this social movement, I am not. He's a very independent thinker. He has his own way and his own rules for the way he lives his life. So the fact that we're all piling on him means we haven't got enough to worry about when we actually do. So I think we should just let him live his life, and we should focus on living our life, and whatever they want to say on social media, just let it be.
But also, but it is this fundamental thing, right? Which is, if people want to express their solidarity, that's fine, but it becomes an inauthentic thing when you start policing who takes the knee or not, who kisses the ring, how lovingly they do so. And Noel Pearson was quoted today in a great piece that Chris Mitchell wrote today in the Australian. A couple of quotes that I wanted to have here about his view and mine about how BLM is, of course, being used as a Trojan horse for a lot of other crazy. He says, there are two forms of racism, that being Noel Pearson, of racism and prejudice. First, the hard bigotry, of which the conservative right is often accused, sometimes wrongly, sometimes fairly. Second is the soft bigotry of low expectations for which progressives are responsible. BLM is alive to the first but blind to the second. He goes on to tell Chris Mitchell in the Australian today. Progressive policies prevail in relation to welfare, education, criminal justice. We are reaping the bitter harvest of progressive policy preferences that oppose the reforms needed in our communities. BLM is right about the problem, dead wrong about the solution. Richo, when Noel Pearson speaks, I listen.